Do it. Al, we're back.
What up?
Wait, let me make sure I'm recording this. Hold on.
Please, God, make sure.
Recording has started as of 8:30. Okay, we're good. Uh, we welcome to the Sunday Sauce. I'm Danny Evans here with Alex, the Teaser Davis, and Al. It
What
feels
up?
like deja. It feels like deja vu, does it not?
Oh yeah,
We
we
Al
definitely.
and I, yeah, to show how high budget our production is here. This is actually our second go around because I forgot to hit record on our first podcast. So here we are again. Al, welcome. What do you
Ow.
have to say to the fans out there?
What's up, everybody? We're pumped up. Uh, we had this idea just to kind of chat a little bit about sports, a little bit about football, what's going on with the sports betting world. Arizona recently just opened up sports betting, made it legal on 9/9/2021, which is now a holiday in my mind.
Not that we were
It's
keeping
been a
track.
lot of yeah, we were counting down the days. I know it sounds pretty sad, but definitely makes sports a lot more fun, honestly, as long as you gamble responsibly, right?
Yeah, and with that, Al, we'll kind of preface this with saying that Al and I are not experts. We are
Right.
not here to give financial advice, but we do follow the NFL quite a bit. We do follow the lines and prop bets and all that stuff, and we feel like we know enough to be dangerous. But this is all for fun. Uh, please don't bet more than you're able to lose. But Al and I, we've had some success here in the past month, call it, and we're having fun with it. So we thought we'd do this podcast, and we have a very big following in the Cleveland, Ohio area. But Al, as it turns out, sports betting's not legal there yet. So I don't know
No.
how many people this is going to apply to, but we're here in Arizona now where it is legal. So maybe Ohio will get with it someday.
Yeah.
But yeah, what we're gonna do here and how the formats kind of work here, guys, is we pick 5 games from the week that kind of intrigue us, and we're just gonna talk about different lines that we like, different player prop bets, some parlays that we like, and we'll kind of just bounce these ideas off each other. So Al, we'll get right into it here. The first game that we kind of like on the docket here is Green Bay traveling to Cincinnati. Cincinnati's had an extra couple days of rest. I believe they were the Thursday night game last week against Jacksonville, where they really struggled in that first half, but seemed to hit their stride in the second half. How do you feel about Cincinnati coming into this week at home against the Pack?
Yeah, I think Cincinnati's pretty tough. They're gonna have that rowdy home crowd there. Um, they're the Green Bay's -3, Cincy's +3. I do like Green Bay though. He falls into that category with Tom Brady. Aaron Rodgers is tough. He's pretty hot right now. Um, I think Green Bay is going to pull it off, but it will be close. If we're looking into the betting part of this, I like Green Bay, money line. If I were to add some kind of tease, I think I would tease Cincinnati, maybe to 10, along with another team we might talk about in a little bit. But either way you go, I think Green Bay is the way. Aaron Jones is pretty solid. Obviously Rodgers. Since he does have some weapons, but they're a little younger. They definitely have the home crowd though, so it's kind of close. But I'm taking Green Bay for sure, money line wise.
Yeah, I do like Green Bay in this game a lot. Cincinnati is just still a little too inconsistent for my liking. Like I said, they did look really well in the second half against Jacksonville, but I just with Aaron Rodgers just kind of seems to be in midseason form right now. Ever since week one, he's been playing really, really well. So I am favoring Green Bay here as well. And the one prop bet that I like a lot, I do expect Green Bay to be up in this game, even though it's at Cincinnati. Aaron Jones is minus, his line for rushing yards is 59.5. In a game that I feel like is going to be in control from Green Bay, I love the over on the 59.5 rushing yards from Aaron Jones. So if I'm looking at player prop bets, that's the one that kind of sticks out to me. But I'm with you. I would have no problem taking the Green Bay money line here if I was using it in some type of parlay. I wouldn't mind teasing that a little bit as well. But
it also,
yeah,
what you could do is you're kind of like feeling this game's going to be down to the wire, maybe like a field goal type game, but you want Green Bay in your bet. You could tease them to maybe tease them 6 points. So that Green Bay is up 3, but I would do the 0.5. I would add an extra 0.5 on there just in case that field goal comes. You at least cover by 0.5,
yeah.
But, yeah.
No, I'm with you. And I think this game it's so tough because obviously it could be close. But I do feel like this could be we're kind of waiting for that big Davante Adams, Aaron Rodgers game. I think Davante Adams, his receptions over under this game is 7.5. And I just feel like he could quite honestly hit that in the first half. I feel like Aaron Rodgers is just rolling right now, and I think him and Davante Adams are long overdue for just a monster game. So I think we kind of seem to be on the same page with this game. So let's keep it going to the next one. Here we have Philadelphia traveling to Carolina. Carolina, I believe, if my research or the updates are correct, I think they're going to be without Christian McCaffrey for one more game. So, Al, let's discuss this game, just assuming Christian McCaffrey is out. What do you like about this game?
Yeah. I know that you are a Sam Darnold hater, but I
just
I
weird
looking. Like
just a weird looking dude.
I know he is, but I like the Panthers defense, honestly. Jalen Hurts around like a nut. I mean, he might be able to escape, but I kind of like Carolina, at least the money line if I'm betting. I definitely have Green Bay, Carolina, Tampa Bay, in these money line bets this week. But, with McCaffrey out, his replacement last week, I forget his name. I know you mentioned it earlier, but he was pretty tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, he actually was pretty good.
Filled in pretty well. So, obviously, he's not Christian McCaffrey. Not many people are, but I do think he's serviceable. But I hear you, Al. But I think this is going to be a game where we just differ. Obviously, I know you don't feel strongly about the Panthers, but I just I'm kind of a believer in Jalen Hurts and just with I think Carolina trying to figure out what exactly their identity is on offense without Christian McCaffrey. Obviously, it's not a long-term fix that they need to come up with, but they do need to, just in regards to this game, I think Philly just kind of has that home run ability, with Devontae Smith and Jalen Hurts, obviously with the threat to run the ball. I think this could be a slugfest. It would not surprise me if I was to pick an upset this week with Philly being +3 on the road at Carolina. I think this game's got all the makings of an upset.
Yeah, and I was gonna do, we have some Vegas insider, I guess you could say, information here and there we get, but the sharp bets, but they're talking about Cincinnati a little bit. But like if I was gonna tease something, I would tease maybe Cincinnati to 10-ish, and then tease Philly to 10. I think that'd be pretty safe, honestly.
Yeah, I would feel very comfortable.
Absolutely. I think Sam Darnold can come haunt you, and they're going to pull it off, actually.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I think Sam Darnold, as far as fantasy goes, I think he's been like a top 12 fantasy quarterback this year. So, I mean, DJ Moore has just been playing really well this year. Robbie Anderson's kind of been non-existent, but they've been winning games. I think. I mean, they were 3-0. I think they're 4-1 heading into this week. But the one and they're at home
too.
Yeah, that's a good point. And what I will say, the rushing stats for Jalen Hurts have just been, off the charts this year. He had a game, I think there was a game, whether it was last week, but he had a game that was, or I think it was maybe against San Francisco earlier in the year. I can't remember exactly who it was against, but he had 10 rushes for 82 yards and a touchdown, I think. So
Right.
with the game this week, his over under rushing yards are 45 and a half. And I just feel like that, even though it is a tough Carolina's defense, I'm still liking the 45 over 45 and a half there for Jalen Hurts rushing.
Sure.
Anything else that sticks out to you from this game, Al?
We can move on to the next one.
Okay.
It's a little tricky, but
yeah, that game definitely one of the closer ones. I just thought there were some intriguing stat or lines in that game. Tampa Bay, Miami. Al, I know you have a history with Tom Brady, both good and bad. It seems like you've learned your lesson with Tom Brady over the years.
Oh yeah. So my number one rule has never bet against Tom. I mean, he's one of the greats. He's haunted me in my dreams.
It's gonna be on your tombstone.
Haunted me in my bank account several times. But I just remember, when I lived in Ohio, we used to have a Super Bowl party every year, and this was when Tom was with the Patriots, and they were playing Atlanta. And me and my friend Chad, my long lost friend Chad Grafito, holler, you baby, I miss you. But me and Chad bet a good amount of money. I think it was about $500, but don't tell my wife. We're sitting there high-fiving at halftime, and we're just feeling great. Everything's going great. And then here comes Tom, and they lost the Super Bowl. Tom came back, beat him, Atlanta. They were down 28-3 at halftime, so I've been haunted ever since. So basically,
Yeah.
I just don't go against Tom often, honest to God. So
yeah, you're a roller coaster of emotions that night. I mean, if there was anything as closest to a sure thing, was that Super Bowl. And yeah, Tom Brady he's one of a kind. He's the GOAT for a reason. So if you're gonna live by a rule, don't bet against Tom. There's been way worse rules to live by, for sure. But as I'm looking at this
game, it's pays minus 9.5. I feel like it's kind of like a trap game, though. Miami's D's not terrible. They got Jacoby Brisket or whatever, but they're not doing too great. I think Tampa Bay is going to end up winning. I would take the money line. I would not take them. I don't feel that great about it at 9.5. I would tease it down, or I'd be doing the money line. But
yeah, so Al, you're a big fan when it comes to these money lines. Tell us about kind of like your strategy when it comes to whether it's, it intrigues. I'm a huge parlay guy, so I do like,
right.
Going money lines with parlays. But how do you kind of construct your bets around parlays?
Well, I mean, the money lines, like, honestly, with the money lines, I try to take the safer bet. With the spreads, you got a little leeway here and there, But the money lines, like this week, I'm taking more of the stronger teams. I'm not as riskier, with the money lines. But I do parlay, 4 to 5 teams, 6 teams. The odds go down if you're picking the favorites and everything. But I just think it's safer overall with better teams doing money line.
Yeah.
But I will tease, like, you could definitely take your strong teams like Tampa Bay, Green Bay, you feel confident about. But then, if you feel like one other game might be closer, like Chicago and the Raiders, Chicago's getting, I believe, like 5.5. If you feel like it's going to be close, you can some of these betting sites let you do the teasing, on multiple games. So, just to be more comfortable, you could tease, take Chicago, but tease them to like 11, and then tease Tampa Bay down. So you can kind of finagle it in your favor. But
yeah, I'm right there with you. I do like finding that, like we kind of talked about before. You find kind of like those core games that you like, And last week, and unfortunately, we'll get to the game Tennessee kind of last week. That was one of our core games, but this is one of those games where Tampa Bay versus Miami. We both feel really good about Tampa Bay. This will be one of those games that's part of a lot of those money line parlays for me. And like you said, like a game like this, I don't mind, not having to tease it. You get those games that for sure that money line's going to hit, but then some of those games like the one we talked about earlier, Green Bay and the Bengals, we feel like pretty good about Green Bay in that game, but that it could be a field goal game or a 4-point game to where gosh, the quarterback for the Bengals, gosh, what's his name?
Borrow.
Yeah,
or Borrow.
Yeah, gosh, why can't I think of his first name? Oh my gosh, it's going to drive me nuts. Yeah, Joe Burrow. So, I mean, that could be a game where Joe Burrow has the ball with a 2-minute drill, down 4, having to score a touchdown. So, like in a game like that, where the line may be 3.5, those kind of closer games that we do feel good about Green Bay, we'll tease those to maybe 6.5, 7.5, 8.5, just to kind of give us that buffer. So, that is this Tampa Bay Dolphins game will be one that I have on a lot of parlays. But when it comes to when it comes to some player prop bets that I like here, Al, Leonard Fournette, he had a monster week last week against in a game where Tom Brady, not that he was struggling, but I think that's just the whole offense with Tampa. It was just a weird game. Sunday night at Foxborough, it was in the rain. Tom Brady coming back. Leonard Fournette delivered in that game in a big way, and I just love his over under rushing yards here in this game. And as I'm pulling up the prop right now, over under 58.5 rushing yards for Leonard Fournette. I love that line. Personally, I wouldn't mind throwing some money on that. But the big thing that I like here is he actually has a 10-1 payout for first touchdown of the game. In a game that I do think Tampa Bay is going to have their way with Miami. I think he's plus 150 as an anytime touchdown scorer. So I would take that's obviously solid. Yeah. So I would.
Anytime score. I think anytime score. If I was doing a prop bet, that'd be the one. And Ronald Jones, he's all over the place, but goal line I've seen, Fournette there a lot. So I think that's solid for any time.
Ronald Jones has had trouble. He's had trouble taking care of the ball. I think he got flat out benched in a couple of these games for fumbling. So they've clearly had trust in Leonard Fournette. I think he had 20 carries in the game prior. So in the game against New England. So you figure if he needs to hit 60 rushing yards and he's getting 20 carries in a game against Miami, I think you like those odds there.
What else we got?
Moving on here, the next game we have is Tennessee versus Jacksonville. So I know Tennessee was a very popular eliminator pick last week. I know a lot of people kind of took it on the chin with. How was your experience with Tennessee last week, Al?
It was awful. If you want to really know, it was actually like.
Danny, thanks for asking. It was awful. I appreciate you bringing up those memories.
No, I actually was doing very well up until that game. I hit I think I had 5 or 6 game parlays. I was every game except for that one. So they lost me a bunch of money, but well, not a bunch, but I still lost. And they lost a wiener, Zach Wilson. The Jets. His mom's hot at least, but he looks like a 13-year-old.
Yeah.
I don't even know if he has armpit hair yet, but hit puberty. But anyways, whatever. So that stunk. But I think Tennessee's back. Henry's nasty. Julio Jones. AJ Brown.
Julio Jones, Vegas is projecting Julio Jones to be out this game. He's not on any of the prop bets yet, so they may be waiting to see if he plays or what his official status is. But as of right now, he's not listed on any of these sites as being active. But I think AJ Brown is expected to hit back.
I know you have some stats on Henry, though. You want to go over? I think.
Yeah, Derrick Henry's averaging I think he's averaging 127 yards a game. It's stupid. He's King Henry for a reason, and I just feel like Tennessee always kind of has Jacksonville's number. But Yeah, and in a game that Tennessee really struggled last week, I think this is a get right game for them. Ryan Tannehill is I think he's been significantly underperforming this year compared to what he's capable of. I wouldn't be surprised if this is a Derrick Henry just monster game.
Yeah, gonna
I
go off.
his over under yards on rushing. It is high at 116 and a half yards, but it is against Jacksonville. I think Tennessee is due for a get right game. I think they're going to be up here, so I think the run game is going to be a heavy part of this. I do think Ryan Tannehill probably hawks a touchdown here from Derrick Henry, maybe inside the 5, but I have no problem rolling the dice on over 116 and a half for Derrick Henry. And I think Tennessee rolls here.
Yeah, and I also think Jacksonville's dealing with Urban Meyer's grinding on every girl out there at the bars. And, one side note, though, to that is like, do you think Jacksonville might be able to pull something off because Urban Meyer's job's on the line? Or like,
yeah, I mean, I
he
think
basically gave us, I'm sorry,
yeah.
I was grinding all night, please win so I can keep my job, or what?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think he approached the aftermath the right way. I think he hit it head on. I think he called it out and tried to just squash it and take responsibility for it. At the end of the day, it's a distraction. I mean, they're going to be asking questions pregame and postgame and probably for the next few weeks. But it's a distraction nonetheless.
I think Tennessee, I would take them money line easily, or I would tease them down just to be safe to like nothing or +2 or whatever it is. Some of those sites actually, by the way, let you, tease like 8-9 points or whatever,
Yeah.
but your odds are rough,
I mean,
so
they
you kind of balance.
They have Tennessee at -4.5. I feel comfortable about that. I mean, I know they burned us last week, but again, I kind of go back to this as a get right game for Tennessee. This would be a game where, like you said, I would love to tease that at least to, maybe a +3 Tennessee, just in case they lose on a game winning field goal here. But the other prop bet, Al, that caught my eye during this is the Marvin Jones receiving prop. Marvin Jones is, for some reason, yeah, it's over under 66 and a half receiving yards for Marvin Jones, but his receptions 4.5. I feel like for some reason Marvin Jones just doesn't get the respect that some of these some of these other receivers do, just because he's not a flashy guy. He's almost not even like a Robert Woods. Right. I think Robert Woods even gets more leeway.
Sneaky, yeah,
sneakily.
He's gonna get, what was it, 4?
Yeah, 4.5 receptions for Marvin Jones in a game that I expect Jacksonville to be down and throwing quite a bit. I like that bet all day long. I mean, he clearly has a relationship or a chemistry with Trevor Lawrence. I feel comfortable kind of rolling the dice with him. Next one, Al. Was it
Pittsburgh or Browns?
You want to just go? Let's go to Browns. We'll go to the Browns. We'll go to Browns Chargers.
We'll skip over you Pittsburgh fans.
Yeah, sorry.
We're a little.
They haven't given us much to talk about this year, other than how Ben looks done and tired. He's ready to. He's unfortunately. I mean, first ballot Hall of Famer. You kind of hate to see it because it is kind of the end of an era for Pittsburgh. They've been so dead set at the quarterback position for so long, and it is kind of surprising because they've done nothing, in the past few years to kind of get ready for that next predecessor to Ben. They just kind of look lost right now, and I really don't. Other than guaranteed touches for Najee Harris, I really don't trust anything with the Pittsburgh offense.
I definitely agree.
Yeah,
and I know we're a little biased with Browns fans, but on this little podcast here, we try to keep it neutral and be nice to each other, right?
Yeah, but I lived in Pittsburgh for 3 years. Like I lived in the middle in Western Pennsylvania, the heart of Steeler country, and there's no one harsher critics on themselves than Steelers fans. They expect the best, and they've been so good for so long. They know. I mean, the writing's on the wall for them. If to make a push for the playoffs this year, I think they'd be lucky to. I think any Steelers fan would take that to be just be in contention.
Yeah,
Sure.
we'll be. All right. How about
Um,
them Browns?
Yeah, how about them Browns? Baker Mayfield, Al, do you want to give us an update on some injuries that Baker may be facing here
Yeah,
heading into week 5?
yeah. I think he tore his labia majora, or actually no, I think it's labrum. I mean, but
It's
he
one of
basically tore
one of the two.
he tore it. He tore his non-throwing arm, labrum, shoulder issue there.
He hasn't looked good,
Hasn't
Al.
affected.
Hasn't looked
Yeah,
good.
he wasn't good last week at all, really. But I hope he turns it around. I know he admitted he had a piss poor performance, but hopefully he's running. Had OBJ out there running routes and getting on the same page. Because this is going to be a tough game. Actually, I think it's going to be down to the wire. So
Yeah, no, I mean Chargers coming off a big win. I believe it was last Monday night against the Raiders. It was a great game. Came down to the I mean not to the wire, but it was a close game down the
yeah,
stretch. And yeah, I just Baker Mayfield, for whatever reason, he's been missing wide open receivers, just throwing over their heads. And I think the injury kind of does have something to do with that. He was leading the NFL, I think, through the first couple of weeks with like an 80%
yeah.
completion rating. I think he's dropped down to like the 60s. So it is something to watch heading into this game. But I'm just, as much as I get crap for Sam Darnold, I'm just not a Justin Herbert believer either. I don't know why. I just
I think he's tall and
yeah,
he slings the ball pretty good. Actually, I think he's pretty solid. But
I know. I mean, people go on and on about his smarts are off the charts. He's got good arm strength. I know he's
a
super.
long way there.
I think he's just, I don't know. I think he has to prove it more to me. Maybe I'm just, I don't know why I'm biased. I have nothing against Justin Herbert. I just, I think this game's going to be a lot closer than people realize. And I do expect the Browns to have a chance of winning this game. I just, when I look at, kind of Austin Eckler was the one that kind of stuck out to me in this game. His over under on all purpose yards is 98.5. And just the way that he can rack up yards so quickly, and not even necessarily during garbage time, but even like some of those drives to close out a half, if they get the ball back with like a minute to go on their own 30-yard line, a lot of the Austin Eckler can rack up these dump off passes, and catch 30, 40 yards receiving just in a couple passes. So I do like the over 98.5 for Austin Eckler, even though last week the Browns playing, Dalvin Cook and Alexander Madison held them in check. I just think this is a different offense in LA.
But I think, and also if you are, able to do the sports betting a little bit, you can go to those same game parlays. And if you don't think they're going to get 98 or whatever you said, maybe that you like, okay, it might be a little lower, like 78, there's probably some kind of option under the alternative bets, under same game parlay.
Yeah.
You can click a couple of those, to be a little safer. So sometimes I do that.
Absolutely. Yep. Yeah. And that's, it's in a lot of those long kind of 3, 4, 5 leg parlays on player prop bets. I do like to tease some of those. Like I said, the payout's not as high, but I'll take, you do get increased odds the more legs you add to a parlay. And the other one I was looking at for this game, Kareem Hunt is just his touches, his role in our offense, his comfort level. It's growing. It seems like by the week. And his line this week, not it kind of sucks because he's biting into Nick Chubb's kind of value here in a fantasy perspective.
Yeah.
But I think Kareem Hunt is like the perfect counterpart to Nick Chubb. His rushing yard prop this week in Kareem Hunt is 45.5 yards. And I absolutely love that heading into week 5 against the Chargers.
Oh, yeah.
I just think they're going to be. I think the Browns are more diverse on offense and finding creative ways to get him the ball.
Right.
I like that line a lot this week.
Yeah.
I think that might be it, Al. Any? Yeah,
that's enough for our first run at this. But,
and I'm sure the sponsorships are just going to start reeling in here.
Yeah. Right. Oh man. But
Well, when we go 12 for 12 on these bets that we're proposing here this week.
Hopefully.
No, but we appreciate you guys tuning into this.
You want to go through a couple real quick?
Which ones?
The ones I had on there, the sheet.
Oh yeah. We'll close out the show here with so here's we call Al Teaser Davis bets of the week. So Al, you have a 4-game parlay here in which you took money lines, but you teased all 4 money lines. You have the Washington Redskins going plus 8.
That
one
I'm
I
sorry. I did a parlay, but that to 6 points, I believe, or 6.5. I can't remember offhand, but
it says 8.5 this sheet, so they must have been a 2.5 point underdog, and you teased them to 8.5 plus 8.5.
Yeah.
You got the Broncos plus 7.5, the Bears plus 11.5, and the Browns plus 8 against the Chargers. So you like those 4 bets in combination for a parlay.
I think Heineke from Washington at 8.5. I think that's safe. He'll keep it close. Broncos are playing Pittsburgh. No offense, I'm not a Pittsburgh guy, but I think the Broncos will hang in there and win.
One thing with that game now is I believe Teddy Bridgewater is still in concussion protocol, and maybe Drew Lock starting that game for Denver. So that may be something to just consider heading into the week. Not to rain on your parade, but just something to check. I didn't check.
Well, I'll chalk that one up as a loss.
Once we can hire a statistician to research all this for us, we'll have that info more up to date. No, but I do like the Bears plus 11.5. Like you said, I think Justin Fields is getting at least made a step in the right direction since he played the Browns in week 3.
And then we got the Browns, but we're a little biased because we're Browns fans. So
yeah, but I like the plus 8, Al. I do think when they have a chance to be down maybe 7, or down 4, heading in and they need a touchdown to win. I do like teasing them to plus 8. I think the Browns defense is good enough to keep it close. And then we have an Al money line safe bet as compared to Al's thirst bets of the week. But no. As far as the money lines go, Tampa Bay, obviously we love Tampa Bay going against Miami. Dallas, we have their money line. Arizona, I'm trying to remember who Arizona has this week.
It was San Fran.
Arizona and San Francisco. So, I believe Arizona is the only undefeated team left in the league. Nothing about. I know San Francisco starting Trey Lance, a rookie. Nothing about San Francisco really scares me, to be honest. So I do like that money line as well. And Baltimore.
I think Cardinals are hot. I think Baltimore, with Jackson running all over the place against Indy, I think it is.
Hollywood Brown. Hollywood Brown is sneakily. Not even sneaky, but just. I think he's outperforming all kind of expectations on the year. Even to think about what they've overcome at the running back position is pretty insane. To think about that they're still playing as good as they are. I think they set some type of record last week, kind of in a cheap fashion. I know it rubbed a lot of people the wrong way on that last play of the game, but they're clearly making do with what they have at the running back spot. So Al likes parlay Tampa Bay, Dallas, Arizona, and Baltimore, taking all their money lines without any teases. So
we'll make some money.
Yeah, let's make some money, guys. Good luck. Good luck this week.
Don't get flustered.
Yeah, again, we're doing this for fun, guys. Only bet you can afford to lose. We hope you'll join us here next week. Hopefully we give you some good advice and get out there and have a fun week 5.
All right.
Bye,
Thank you guys.
Peace.
Was it good?